welcome everyone again. Today we're finally kicking off this Blue Poo Race. So what is it? Why we call this challenge a Blue Poo Race? I prepare a few slides, so bear with me. Just very short. So this is gonna be a very short meeting. It's pretty much just explanation what to do once you buy this Blue Poo kit. So what is this Blue Poo kit? Once you purchase, this little kit, you will get a little pouch with a card insert. It looks like this. And for 2 sets of 2 capsules of blue spirulina, absolutely natural algae, blue-green algae that is rich in proteins, vitamins, minerals, carotenoids, and antioxidants that can help to protect cells from the damage. And it's pretty much dried biomass. The algae is basically a group of the cyanobacteria that has the blue or green color. You mostly probably seen it as a green color, one supplement before, and it can be consumed by humans and animals. So let me just pause the share and I'm gonna show you how it actually looks. So it actually is gonna be like 2 sets of little capsules. So they look like a little supplements. They are dark blue, and you will take 2 capsules in 1 dose. And in the kit, you will get the little card, which is basically does have all the information, the quick information, and then you will get a Bristol stool chart and the chart that you're gonna write the notes on the other side. And I'm gonna explain that just from the slides again. So let's get back to our presentation. So that's what you're getting with this kit. All right, and so why are we doing this? To understand your body better, because your body is mostly the gut, right? Like the biggest organ, is the digestive tract. And it's really important. So just not to know our health from the point of symptoms, but also what else is going on, we can understand the microbiome diversity with this little tiny test. Motor migration complex, I know it's a mouthful. That's pretty much the little pattern of electromechanical activity that occurs in the tract, in the GI tract during the fasting period. So when we're not eating, it can be as soon as like 90 minutes after we eat, the body starts cleaning up, starts moving around and cleaning up the gut and basically the whole tract. So just very briefly or very simply to say, you can just pretend that the MMC, the motor migration complex, is something like your digestive system janitor. It will basically ensure that the gut is clean and functioning smoothly between the meals, and it keeps things moving and maintain healthy gut environment. It can also help us, to understand if our pelvic floor is strong enough, if the hormones are working as they should, or it actually can maybe help us if we change diet to regulate these hormones. And there is also the brain-gut communication, but that's a different topic. So it works through the vagus nerve. So why is it important to check the gut transit time? So once we start with the diet, once we eat something, it affects us in 2 different ways, mostly. There's this very simplified representation. It directly affects the gut microbiota. So all the little helpers that are sitting in our gut, but on our body as well, because we are feeding them as well as we're feeding us, but mostly them. So the substrate availability, like the components that we need to feed them, are very important, and they basically feed us with these microbial metabolites, which are important and beneficial for the host, for us. But also the diet itself influences like how the transit time is gonna affect us. So maybe let's say if we eat too much fiber, certain type of fiber, it can speed up transit time, right? Like sometimes when you eat certain fruits or vegetables, then you probably need to run to the bathroom really quickly. Or the other way around, if you eat something that sits there forever, then you probably have a hard time and maybe read the phone for half an hour on the toilet. And of course, there are other factors like from the host, from us, from our body, dependence probably on not just the age, but also on the gender. In general, women have a little longer colon because it needs to stretch out when we carry the baby, and also other status like health status, how do we feel, and other factors as well. So everything is connected to everything. And bear with me here, I know this is a little bit scientific, but pretty much what it represents, this picture, is that how the food goes through our body from mouth. The mouth is kind of cut out over here, but it gets to the stomach. It goes to the part of the small intestines where some of the nutrients are absorbed. And then the rest of the fermenting basically really much sits in the colon. So the large intestine has multiple different parts. And you can see that the pH actually increases from the stomach, where we know it's really acidic, and it basically alkalizes as it goes through the colon. And from this paper, it's a review paper, they pretty much collected all the published data, and you can see what was reported from the patients, all these like transit times in certain parts of the body. But overall, like they got up to like 134 hours, which is super long. What is it? Like if you divide it by 60 minutes, it's probably a lot, right? How many? 6 days or so? So not very good. We definitely don't want food to sit in the colon for that long. So let's see what's happening if the food actually is sitting there that long. So with the increasing colonic transit time, the water content decreases. So what does it mean? If the food is sitting in the colon for too long, the water is reabsorbed back to the body. The poop pretty much starts shrinking, right? And it will create harder and harder pellets, and it's harder to push. So it gives us the constipation. That's already a stage of the dysbiosis, so it's not good. Also, the pH increases, which is normal, but it can increase to the point that it's actually not tolerable for healthy bacteria, and it will increase the diversity of the bacteria or fungi or the microbiome that we don't really want. So these type of microbes can actually shift. Also, when the food sits there too long, it's shifting the metabolites from digesting primary saccharides to the proteolysis, which is good. But if it sits there for too long, we get more and more levels of the branched chain fatty acids, which are not as beneficial for our health. Then we get accumulation of compounds like phenols, indoles, ammonium, sulfate, hydrogen sulfide, which, when they combine these, there we get a little windy, right? And the stinky gas. So yeah, not pleasant to be around, and we don't want that. So all these factors we can check, right? Like we also can monitor them, we can write it down. People normally don't do that, but I think it's really healthy to know what's happening in our body. So again, what you're getting with this kit is also the Bristol stool chart. So what we consider normal it is this type 4. So you want to have a poop. So when you look down the toilet, you should get something like a banana, smooth, S-shaped, soft and moist, not too hard, not easy to push out type of stool. But I would say it's kind of still normal or acceptable. It might be type 3, which is still kind of like a sausage. So it's a little harder to push, but still easy to get out. So those might be like the normal types. Everything else is outside of the normal range. If it's like a really clumpy pellet, hard to push, and it takes us forever to sit on a toilet and push it out, that's type of constipation. Not good. So that means that basically the food sits there for too long, and all the toxin can be reabsorbed, and other problems can increase from there. Or the type 5 to 7, they're getting soft and mushy and watery. So pretty much that's on the diarrhea side. And that's also not good because that's very short transit time, which means that we are not absorbing nutrients long enough to get basically to our body for our benefit. So neither of those are good. So what I want you to do is basically take those pills, take those 2 capsules for the per gram dose, with preferably with a meal, and monitor what's happening in your toilet. So you will see a blue poop, literally, and it will color the water. If you have like too much water in the toilet, it will color it too. So it's actually fun exercise, fun experiment. And so this card actually has this Blue Poo tracking chart. So what I want you to do when you take those 2 capsules, write the start date, start time. When you see the blue poop in your toilet, write the date. It should be hopefully next day, and the time, so you can calculate like how much time it actually lasted to pass through all the colon, all through the digestive system, and also write the stool type based on the Bristol stool chart. So the question was when to take it, and is it safe to take it, and who can take it? Absolutely. The spirulina pills are absolutely safe for everybody. So from children to elderly, from actually even with the animals, but we never tried this experiment with the animals. So I don't know how it looks. Let me know if you are willing to try to feed your animals with it. It's absolutely safe. Spirulina normally in holistic healthcare is used together with some other, like a chlorella, chlorophyll, as a binders or chelators. They're very beneficial in large amounts. Of course, there are also sorts of proteins and other healthy substances. But what I want you to do is preferably to take it with the food, preferably morning or lunch, because we want to give your body enough time to get that transit from eating to get to the toilet. If you take it, let's say, in the evening and you don't have a bowel movement within 24 hours, you might have a bowel movement, but it's not with the blue color because it probably didn't get there enough. You automatically gonna push towards the more constipation type of ranges of the time, which might not be exact because your basically sleeping schedule is in the way, which may not be accurate. So we prefer if you take it in the morning or lunch with the food. So we know that it actually travels with the food because it will grab on food. Absolutely, it's good if you're fasting, that's perfectly fine. But I would do it as an experiment. Intermittent fasting doesn't interfere. So let's say if you're only fasting for 12 hours, you have like 12 and 8 hours eating window, or 16 and 8 hours eating window, that's perfectly fine. If you have shorter times, they don't interfere with this approach. If you're fasting anywhere longer than 24 hours, I would do 2 experiments. You can do it during the fast. Usually the prolonged fast don't give you the bowel movements right in the same healthy range, so it can be affected. So we take the note, and then I would do another dose because you will get 2 doses once you stabilize your eating habits. So not right away after you start eating, but maybe the day after. And it's, so you will have the comparison, how your bowels look and how your digestive system actually works during the fasting and also after the fasting. One comment is for the menstruating women. I would say preferably don't take it in the first 2 days of your cycle. Usually we are affected by the hormones, and the bowel movements usually come faster than we would like. Not everybody's like that. Some people don't have it. Some women have it for even longer. So your body. Just try to do it in a way that it doesn't interfere with the normal results. So you know what's more normal and what not. So just take the notes. So once you take it, what to do next? So you will watch. Like usually it should be the next day. You're gonna watch for the blue color in the toilet, and it's really fun. So just watch for it, and then you will mark down, as we said, the transit time, the stool type. If you took any medications, that they write it down. You know, if you did any type of fasting or something different, write it down. Maybe you want to compare eating pizza party or, you know, ice cream, or just eating healthy type of food. You can do this experiment, and if you see any abnormalities, please write it down as well. So what I want you to watch for, maybe changing color of the urine. I mean, it can happen. It's not very common, but it can happen. Or you might have even more than just one bowel movement with the color. So that's perfectly normal, and it's perfectly fine as well. So you can do it that way too. And then I would like you to mark down the times for all of them. And then I'll ask you, because I will have your information, I will ask you to fill the data survey. There is a link if you scan this page. The first one is for the data survey. If you already got the Blu-Poo kit, you can fill it out if you already done it, because we're trying to collect as much information as we can, also from the practitioner side, and the company can help us probably interpret some of the results as well. So you can help us to move this forward. And then we will do a live Q&A with the results with a small group of people. So don't hesitate to ask anything about the test, about the results, because it can happen in any way. So that is going to happen in 2 weeks, on September 18th. Again, it's going to be 7:30 p.m. And you still have time to get your kit. So if you haven't got it yet, get it from my website, zuzufree.com/blue-poo, or you can scan the code. It's $25. And also for all of those people who are doing this Blue Poo race, I offer free health screen assessment, which has much higher value. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. You can contact me directly from the website, or you can email me at nutrition@zuzufree.com, and don't hesitate to ask, or you can even book free session with me as well. So let's do it. Let's get those toilet blue and have fun with it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And thank you, everyone.
Zuzu, I have a question. So when we're talking about, can you speak more on why this is so important for people to really focus on their gut health? Like I even heard that most of the diseases come from our gut health, you know, and stuff like that. So can you speak on just the importance of gut health?
Yes. So Hippocrates said a long time ago, it was long time ago, that all the diseases are coming from the gut. So we use the food as our medicine, and we should also treat the medicine as our food. It should come from the whole foods, because our bodies are meant to heal themselves. I mean, sometimes the intervention is needed, but many of the modern medications, or even on the over-the-counter supplements, are introducing changes to all of the environment, and not only around us but also inside us. And we didn't know that for a very long time, but now we do, that many things our body is not able to do it on its own. We need the symbiosis, we need that synergy work from the microbiome that we have in our gut, but not only in our gut, but all on our body. They are helping us to change many of the compounds from the food to something which is beneficial. So many hormone precursors, many vitamins are basically created by the fermentation of these microbes. So we need to keep it healthy. If we are not keeping the gut healthy, we can start having a lot of issues, especially the immune issues. They don't come right away, right? Our body can tolerate a lot. So they come over the time. Once the symptoms are start manifesting, it's usually too late. So we are usually having a problem that we have something like a leaky gut. So the substances are going through the wall of the gut into our bloodstream, and basically alarming our immune system, and then it gets crazy, and might start attacking itself too. So those are really important things that we should probably keep in mind before they even even happen. So why we're using the Blue Poo is to address like how long it actually takes, because if it's too fast, we usually have a probably problem, with not healthy microbiome, and it's pushing, it's kind of, we can eat enough, but we might be malnourished because we're not absorbing enough nutrients. If the transit time is too long, it means that we are reabsorbing all the toxins that might be there. So we might be manifesting other symptoms. We might get rashes on the skin, we might get cramps, or it can be actually anything. It can be irritated, it can be on a hormonal level. So all these toxins we need to start pushing out in a healthy, time out of the body. So that's why it's actually, this is easy and quick way and natural way, because I've seen the test that they've done, like let's say bake your own blue muffins, but you are using the food grade dye, and although it's generally recognized as safe, we still don't know how they affect. It's still artificial color, so we don't know how they affect our health. So this one is absolutely natural. You don't have to bake, you don't have to do anything. It's quick and easy. You take those pills as a supplement. They don't affect any, symptoms, any nothing. They basically create more beneficial effect in your in your gut, in your bite as well. And you will see the blue color. So it's a fun one.
Awesome. And I have two more questions. One is, and this is kind of a basic one, but just for the people that are kind of just joining in and may have missed it, can you explain what is microbiome and microbiome diversity?
Yes, absolutely. So microbiome, I know we are interchangeably using these terms, microbiome or microbiota. It's a population of little tiny creatures, which are usually bacteria, fungi, viruses, and can be some other categories that live inside, outside, everywhere around us. They are everywhere. They are pretty much ubiquitous, what we call them. They live, in the environment. They live in or on our food, on the surfaces. But what is happening, like they basically live in our gut mostly, where they help to ferment the food. So we call them ferment, but they basically transform certain parts of our food after certain digestion or pre-digestion to the other components that are basically beneficial to our health that we cannot digest. They have much more enzymes than we do, than our body. They have lots of different genes to create different components, different, let's say, lactic acids, like different acids that are very beneficial for our health and for keeping even the gut population steady and healthy. And what the diversity means, it's basically that there are so many the different kinds of these bacteria, fungi, viruses that they live inside of us. Um, in general, we say the variety or the diversity is good, but we also should keep in mind that it's not always the fact. It should be the diversity and the variety of the good kind. So it's just coming to the research these days, like, people are trying to we're trying to understand which of these populations are actually beneficial and which are causing more trouble, more symptoms, more bloating, more even kind of allergy kind of symptoms. So they can create different things. They can create cravings. So we want a good kind. We don't want the bad kind. So that, the diversity is the key, but it should be on the good side, not the bad side. I hope I answered your question.
Very good, very good. Okay, the next one is a two-part question. Number one, part one is can you speak on the importance of exercise as it relates to our gut health? That's part one. And then part two would be And of course, you know, we you know, everyone knows it's important to exercise, but would you say also that it's better to exercise in the morning? Because I've heard that like you exercise in the morning, it jump starts your metabolism, and so maybe it's better for your gut health if you exercise in the morning instead of exercising at night.
Huh. Good questions. So the exercise is absolutely beneficial because with the exercise, we're actually increasing the blood oxygen. And with that, there are so many processes incorporated that help to also not just move our lymphatic system, move the muscles. The muscles are pretty much moving stuff around. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, so the muscles are basically are creating that pump to start moving the lymph around, so all the toxic stuff goes out. Why is it important also for the bacteria, for the microbiome? With these processes, we are creating also other substances, the metabolites in the body that are necessary also for them, so they keep them in check. You know, they benefits from that, and they actually can create other metabolites downstream. And if it's more beneficial to exercise in the morning or in the evening, I would say it's individual. I don't think we have enough research for that part, and I think every person is their own, like is very individual. Some people like to prefer to exercise in the morning. Some people are just not, like they're gonna drag their butts out of the bed and they just gonna do it, but they feel, you know, tired maybe the whole day. Sometimes if you push yourself too hard, then you're not able to do anything for the rest of the day. So is it really good? Or you just kind of jumpstart your day with doing something else, and then you go with your exercise when you have the most energy. So I believe that's like the preference of every person. I think both ways are good. Exercising at any point of the day is great. Um, Sometimes it's also hard to exercise in the morning if people have problems with adrenals, so they cannot really jumpstart, or they creating too much stress. Lots of people who are drinking coffee, let's say, in the morning, over the time they basically exhaust their adrenals, but it can happen at any point with the stress, with other factors, not just the coffee. It can happen with the improper diet as well. So not everybody is probably able, or maybe not everybody should do it. So that's why we are testing, you know, for all these factors. And that's why I offer also the health assessment to see, you know, what your body preference is. Is it actually good for you to exercise, you know, early in the morning or not? You know, do you need a support for your adrenals? Can you fast? Can you not? All these kind of things can be answered.
Good. Wow, powerful, powerful. I love it. I love it. Wow, this is such a powerful session. So yeah, thank you, Zuzu, for coming back on. And as we close, any like final thoughts as we close out?
Not that much. I'm curious how people like this, so keep me posted. Have fun definitely with the Blue Poo. I love it. I absolutely was looking for, like, waiting, you know, tremendously, like, when is my poo, my blue, you know, toilet gonna show up? But you know, we all should talk about it because the bowel movements are important in our life. And I know it's a topic kind of like nobody really, you know, it's not a social topic, right?
Right.
But it's a health topic. It's a really important thing. Like if people don't poop, which
Mm,
some people don't, some people says like, oh yeah, I'm regular, like once a week. That's not good. That's not good. Normal is once, at least once a day. Normal will be like 2 to 3 times a day. So think that, keep that in mind.
uh,
And if we are not pooping, you know, we should probably talk about it, because yeah, there's something else is going on, and eventually, you know, it will manifest one way or another. So
wow.
stay healthy and monitor your poop.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Awesome. All right, guys. And remember, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Zuzu. You know, this is such an important topic. So awesome. Well, thanks again, Zuzu. Have a great night. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Lance. Have a great night, everyone.